what it is. The Frontleft Podcast, FrontleftofAllConversations. Got myself, Kevin, and Andrew with Trick or Treat.
Josh, FTS.
And we have a special guest in the building. Would you like to introduce yourself?
The one and only Craig Cavannagh. Mr. Ink.
Literally.
Ink.
I know he is Mr. Ink and the meme guy. Before
The meme guy.
The meme guy.
Oh, fam, before I ever followed him, he used to do memes. We used to do memes
Of myself though, with me own
Yeah.
face. Because the photographers in here, like, obviously, because I'm not camera shy, as you know. And I'm always jumping in front of something. But anyway, he used to like get me cans of things. And I think there's one from a Sunday session on with the middle finger. And I was giving someone the middle finger and he took it. So I made that into a meme. That was where it started. Then it's on the Love Island ones, you know.
Yeah. So that's what I first started because I knew you from Ink, but I used to see your memes and I was like, shit. Like, I used to laugh off them as well. I was like, okay. And then we started speaking and stuff, and then and now we're here.
Then we had something more in common than Ink. It was the gym, man.
The gym, man. The gym.
But yeah, the meme. I always feel it's funny, right? Because I always poke fun at myself before anyone else will. So I always lash it in, and then it worked out. So
that's good. It's always good to have like a sense of humour, to be honest.
You've got to these days, haven't you?
So, with you saying like you've always poked fun of yourself, does that stem from somewhere?
No, do you know what I think it was? Do you know, I was quite lucky. Everyone asks me, like, obviously because I'm gay, and they go, did you have like a bad time growing up with it? And I was like, no, because I hid it quite well, and I could my dad put me into boxing, so I could sort of always kind of look after myself. So I kind of blended it. I think everyone knew, but I used to still go with girls. So it comes from that. I used to think, oh, if I don't take piss out of myself first, someone else will. So I thought I was beaten to the punch. That's probably where it started. Really.
So what age were you when you fully came out?
I told my mum when I was 16 and she was like, oh, because you're performing arts, you know, you just think that. And I was like, yeah, all right. I was like, so mum, like, I know what I am. Then I told her again when I was 18, and so I came out properly when I was 18. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you have any like friends in your circle who went through like a similar sort of phase at all, or
no? I literally was the only gay in the village at school. Not to drop in Little Britain quotes, but yeah, it was Little Britain. That wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just double checking. Yeah, so now no one really that I knew came. I mean, some of them are still in that closet. They must be roasted in that closet because they've been in there for years. But roasted in that closet. Say no names on that. It is what it is. But yeah, no one really went through it, and it was weird because I didn't know anyone older than me who was gay. So maybe you normally have like that sort of older brother figure or someone sort of lead you a certain way. I never had that, but I mean, I sort of landed on my feet. I done all right. All my lab mates now are straight, so it's a bit sort of.
No, because
it's blended well.
Like, do you know what's mad? I can say this. When I was younger, I didn't know how to communicate with people who were gay. And then when I was older, I was like, yo, I'm actually friends with a lot of gay people. And I think leaving Liverpool, and then especially when you were in school, people didn't want to come out. And then the people that you did know who were gay would only just chill with girls. So you could never like reciprocate or have like that kind of, connection. And then when you get older, like now we speak, I'm like, yeah, we're cool. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so it's so different. And I think younger people who are gay should be like, and people like us as well. Like everybody from different cultures or outlooks everyone's relatable. But when you're younger, you never think that. It's always labeled as one thing. You're like, oh shit, nah, I don't want to be like that. Yeah,
I mean, it's mad because like these young ones that realize how lucky they are, and I hate that because just sound like me mad or something, but they don't realise how lucky they are because it's a lot easier to be who you want to be these days. It's like I sort of not had to fight for it, but like I sort of got respect because I was like, what your preconception of what every gay person's like running around in vests with rainbow flags and stuff, and them bloody hot pants walking down the street. That's not the way it is.
So that's what I thought it was, and I think it was YMCA that would give that narrative. I used to think that, and I used to think like, yeah.
I was waiting for someone to jump out and go, young man. I took one for the team.
Yeah. Literally, that's how I thought. And you know what's mad as well? What was my man's name? Freddie Mercury. I remember.
What, my doppelganger, you mean?
You look like him. I didn't actually clock that.
Honestly, I done that face swap app thing. Did you see it? That Avatar, is it called? I done a face swap with Freddie Mercury and it just looks exactly the same. I was like,
now that you say it, I can actually fully see it.
I'll send you the video. I'll put it on a reel. It's the absolute ringer of me.
With the thing that you're saying with, what did you say rainbows? Did you say?
Rainbows?
The rainbow flag.
Rainbow flag. But, so I work with a lot of people who different like orientations and things like that. And I think when I was smaller, I was never really around too many people. But like I said, when you went to different cities, when I went to uni, I was more exposed and I understood a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? So that sort of, I don't know, like brought my inquisitive out to ask questions to actually understand. And because I work with a lot of people now for a couple of years as well, I kind of understand some of the things that they've been through as well. But there are times as well where I don't know certain things that I might say. But then at the same time, like, oh, have I approached this the right way? Have I approached this the wrong way? Have you ever had anybody that's sort of like, I don't know, whether it's in a working environment or somebody you bump into like on a daily basis where they sort of get the wrong idea of who you are as a person?
Oh, all the time. I mean, I think I've broached this subject before, like on me Instagram. I think I've done a video, but the preconception that people get of you, especially on social media, like I do get that a lot. Like people think I'm a bit of a prick or pretentious, and I'm actually the total opposite. I just think you can come across a certain way, and in a bad light, and really you're just posting a picture, or you might make an off comment. But that, you know what you've just said then as well, like you said you asked more questions and stuff. It must have been hard for like straight lads growing up, like if they felt like a gay person was sound, but you couldn't really talk to anyone because of the what people would say about you, or and you'd be scared to like ask questions like, well, how are you gay? Because then people think that you're gay. So it's mad the way you've been in that weird boat where you couldn't really ask questions growing up about it.
I think
because it make you look gay or something.
I think so. Exactly what you just said makes you look gay. It's that word where everyone used to say. I don't know if people still use it as much now.
Faggot.
No, not that. Whoa, man. No.
Fully went into
but
it.
like to say like everything's gay. Nah, you can't be doing that's gay.
I know what people say now. They go, oh, this is gay, this, and then they look at me and they go, are you alright? And I'm like, yeah. It's just a word. Like I don't take offense to things like that. Like I mean, now you can't even call a table these days. In case the table takes you to court. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't say anything these days, can you? So it's even harder now. But yeah, I mean, like people go, oh, I've just said that word, and I'm like, you heard the way I speak about myself. Like I'm all day with stuff like that. But
that's good, because other people would be like, oh no, my God, he's being some way, or they'll take it. So if you could be open to it, but if I go, oh, he's gay, someone else would be like, why you question my sexuality like that?
Or why my ass, or then they won't approach you. Like, so sorry to answer your question that you asked before. I think I went around the world and never answered it. Yeah, I mean, there's been people like you probably know coming here all the time, and they were a bit standoffish when they first met me, and then they go, you're actually alright, aren't you? And I'm like, just been flying that flag for years. Just trying to get used to see that it's not as black and white or as pink and pink as you would think.
No, you need to be the spokesman of it in Liverpool, to be fair.
Instead of Mr. Ink, I'll be Mr. Hom.
2021. Actually, how did you become Mr. Ink? I want to know how, like, because
okay. Oh, do you mean here?
I've only seen you, like, I think it was the past 2 years. Never really clocked you before till when I came in, or when we moved back, and I was like, I started seeing your face, so I didn't really see you like or public days or.
Oh no, it wasn't about then. I've been here for 5, so I had my own pub.
Oh, you had the pub?
Yeah. Before it was called the Breeze in Rice Lane.
Stuff like
in Walton. That's where I'm originally from, Walton.
Okay.
So I had the pub there, and then I had it with my dad and my mum, and it was like a family thing. It was boss, and my dad got sick, so. That was when I started putting weight on, actually, just to go on why we started going to the gym. But anyway, and we had that pub, and then as he got sick, I thought we're not going to carry on. We wouldn't carry the lease on without him. We didn't know where it was going to be, so because he had like cancer. So I went on Facebook this day, which no one uses Facebook anymore now, and there was an advert saying Ink Bar taking on staff, and it was the way I opened it. It was there, so I applied, came in here, sat actually right over there, and. I look like
we all just look like
do the cut through the magic in the editing room. Anyway, so I was sitting there, and they walked in. I was full of tattoos, and they were like, you don't really need to have the interview, you've got the job. And I was like, because they knew I had experience. It was just so I just vibe with them, left, and then I've been here ever since. That's the thing. So Mr. INKcredible, Mr. Ink thing, it came from, I'd done Gay Pride 2013. I sang on stage, and it was superhero themed, and I was dressed as Mr. Incredible, and someone like wrote on it Mr. Ink with capital letters Credible, and then when that sort of just stuck.
Was that because they knew you worked there, or was that because you're full of tattoos?
I think it was a blend of both, but originally it started from 2013. Jesus, 2013, that's a long minute ago, isn't it?
Wow.
But yeah, so that's where it came from. But then when I came here, and then I was sort of just in front of the camera. I was always on the pictures and on the Instagram feed and carrying the car and the plane. I do love being centre of attention. I'm not gonna lie. You know, there's no point scared.
It's the photos. They look so polished, and you're just posing. I was thinking, shit.
Some of them are candid. Some of them I preempt them.
Okay.
Obviously, because I'm like, yeah, make sure you get that angle.
Yeah.
Do a bit of creative direction, do you? Before? Yeah,
I mean, so if you seen some of them, because I'm like waiting for him. Like sometimes I'm like, and he's late. I'm like, I'm looking at. I wouldn't name the photographer. I'm like, looking
I know who it is.
and then just as you get the camera up, like,
didn't even see you there.
Me? Yeah, you know, you've got to like get the bottom chin up. You know, you've got to make sure you get the angle. But you know, that's the way I am. It's part of me. It's part of me shtick.
Yeah.
So would you ever go into? Because obviously you seem like you've got a natural talent to be.
Behind show off.
No,
to be in front
of a camera.
Like
would you go into modeling or something?
Do you know what? Your man here is 30. I'm 35 now. 36 in November.
And you look good.
You look great, incredible.
Yeah, incredible.
Josh, you just lifted that. Then
Josh lifts.
That was smooth. Do you know what? I always say it. I say I'm a cougar now, so I've just got to look after myself. So I've really got to take care of myself. And I think the best thing to happen to me really was when I put that weight on, and then when my dad.
So you said your dad was sick. So
yeah, and then he passed. When he passed away, I sort of had it was a hard time. I mean, you don't think you really ever get over it to parent, you know, but. It sort of gave me a kick. I remember looking at a picture. Have you ever seen any before?
I've seen some of the photos.
I was a fat meathead, wasn't I? And I've said it before. Like, I look like I sat in the fridge for a couple of years, and so when I shifted that weight, I think that's
sat in the fridge.
My joints thanked me, but also like it gave me like a newfound confidence. I feel better now than I did when I was 21, and I look near enough the same as I did when I was 21. So I don't think I'll ever I feel guilty. I don't know if do you feel guilty when you don't go?
I feel guilty now because I spent a year just eating.
Oi. So I climbed Snowdon the other day, yeah, and I got a picture of the top.
What was
it was sick. It was coming down. Oh, my knees got battered. And I took a photo of the top, and I've always kind of kept like an okay shape, even through the first lockdown. Yeah. Boy, if you see this, I'll show you after the pod, innit? I've got like a beer belly. I'm like, oh shit. So I need to take some inspiration. And
well, I seen one picture. That was what done it for me. I'd seen this one picture, and I don't think I actually seen it. Like, I don't know how I didn't notice that my clothes were just a bit like going, please, like stop. And then when I'd seen this picture, and I knocked myself sick, and that was it. And then I'm one of them. Like when someone tells me I can't do something, or when something gets stuck in my head, I won't stop until I get it. So I've done like a 5-year plan. I'm 3 years in, and I've reached it. So I'm like, I'm really proud of it. Like,
so did you go off your own back, or did you have like PTs?
I've had a couple of PTs in between, and then I'm one of them. Like if you tell me like this, I'll go away and I'm a researcher. I'm terrible. So then I looked away and how can I get these parts of my body to look like this, and like, you know, isolating them and doing certain things. And so after a while I didn't need a PT because I'd done my own research. And my last PT, Liam, I'm a good mate to them, and he's from our gym, and if I was going to train with anyone, I'd probably just train with him again. But I'm at the point now where
you don't even need a PT.
I'm good. I've got my routine, and, you know, eight sessions over 4 days, and then I have 3 days off.
So you feel like you're burning yourself out in 4 days?
No, because I'll do it in the morning. Come here, go home and have a nap, go to Prophecy or go to that gym, my main gym, and then I go and then I sleep. Then I've got loads of energy constantly, so I feel like I need to wear myself right down, otherwise I don't sleep. I lie there and I'll start planning 3 weeks ahead. I'm absolute weirdo.
I can't train in the evening because I have too much energy now. But when I train in the morning, by night time, I'm dead. So I'm tired. I don't know if it's with the pre-workout or something, but something keeps me awake.
Do you use
I cannot train without like. Do you know what's mad? Because I used to take like Jack's 3D.
Oh yeah.
Back in the days.
What's that?
Wait, it's the best pre-workout you'll ever take.
Is it so?
It's powerful.
Does it make you feel around the bend?
Don't. I wouldn't advise it.
I would advise it.
Nah.
Fucking.
He's like that. Spokesperson for it.
Which Walton or Walton? Which is the one by Gattaca?
Walton.
Is that the one you live at?
No, Walton is
okay.
L4.
The other one. Okay, so there's Fitness Factory. They sell the original one. And when I mean that Jack's 3D, you fly. Like
That's why I said it's not recommended, because 2 scoops of that and you'd be up for 24 hours.
See,
like, it's
see,
that
I
kind
as a
of
kid,
fun.
he said I had ADHD, and my mum was like, "I'm not putting on a medication." And I was a little fucker when I was a kid. I don't know how she put up with me, but I think it's left over from that. I've just always I'm always on the go, and it's very rare that I get like tired. Like I can go on, I can have 2 hours sleep, like just say for it, whatever reason, and I'll get up and I can do a full day and just
2
a bit
hours.
quieter. Yeah, it's just the mindset.
Wow.
Because I've always got that thing, don't give in. And I've been like that since I was a kid, so I think that's the only reason I can last as long as I can. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame I didn't have.
fans.
Fans. Live podcast. See that, guys? That was a live audience there.
They're here to see me.
Yeah, Mr. Incredible.
You know what was going on then?
But no, I haven't took any pre-workout or even protein after the gym for like 8 months.
Oh, serious?
My body's completely. I've just been trying to get it through food.
That's good.
Wow. So what type of, do you follow any type of diet, or you just
plant-based?
No,
that's good.
I love me meat.
Okay,
no
that's
way.
good.
No way. Sorry, I mean, not against vegans and that, but no, couldn't be doing that. You know what's so funny? Like, I've got loads of vegan mates, but I'm not pinpointing anyone. So, you know when they have the vegan food made in the factory?
Yeah.
Did you know that it causes more emissions and it's got more, it's more fattening than any natural food?
So
it's where the way they make their food, it causes just as much pollution as it does.
As in meat replicas and stuff like that.
Tofu, because I clocked that the other day.
And too much soy in your diet as well.
Yeah,
it's puts too much estrogen in your body.
See, too much estrogen from tofu.
I thought you were going to leave me hanging there.
You can't have parabens as well. I've been saying this. And you know what's mad? I was looking at, I was in Asda the other day. And because my boy came to stay with us like a couple of weeks back. And he was eating like vegan chicken nuggets. So,
hey, Vic and nuggets.
Yeah. So happened to walk past it on the aisle. This is like the other day. And I was like, shit, let me look at the nutritional value. There's more saturated fats, calories, and all that in vegan chicken nuggets than normal chicken nuggets. But it's meant to be better for you. Or
it's not
did
meant
we
to be
come
better
up with the
for
notion that being vegan's better for us?
No, being vegan isn't to do anything to do with all those fake.
And everyone's so angry when they're vegan. I'm like, have some chicken then. You know, have a bit of red meat. You know,
I was talking about is like the processed stuff. So they're making the replicas. They're making the chicken nuggets, the chicken and the bacon, the duck and all that. It's just it's all these companies that have the idea of making replica of the actual meat, but realistically you should eat the whole foods, your plants, legumes, your seeds, beans and stuff.
So
like
what's
that.
corn?
What kind of beans?
All of them. Legumes is the name of
the... your stomach can't digest corn?
Yeah, but your stomach can't digest...
It's crazy.
Wait, corn or corn? Corn is like...
It'd be queer or queer.
Yeah,
queer. You're saying sick.
You also want corn? Like what cows eat? Corn?
Like sweet corn.
Yeah.
You can't digest corn?
You
can't digest red meat either. I'm sure you can't.
It just takes longer.
Does it?
Yeah. It just sits in there a little bit longer.
When I eat a burger, I feel it for time. But then, you just feel it there.
When I eat a burger.
You feel it there. And then when you eat like chicken or anything else, it's just...
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't follow any like particular diet. When I first started, like I made that mistake where you cut everything bad out. And the advice I'd give now is what I should have listened to one person. They said to me, just wean yourself off the processed and bad food, but don't cut it out completely, because then when you have a cheat day and you eat it, you feel more watery and like wobbly, because your body's grabbing on. So I put a load of good nutrition in me, but if I want to eat crisp or I want to eat chocolate, I'll eat what I want, because
get the balance.
That's everything in moderation.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I wish I could do that with alcohol, but
okay, so that's one of the questions that I was going to ask you. How do you do with it, like with the gym now? You work in a nightclub, obviously it's a party place. How are you balancing? Because are you drinking a lot, or obviously you like a drink? How is there that balance? Because for some people, some people only have one drink a week or one drink a month, but you're always in this kind of environment. How do you balance it?
I mean, on shift, it's not advised for anybody who works on shift to drink.
This is top staff, so you can drink on shift.
If on shift, if someone like buys you a shot, I'll always have a shot with them, because it's part of the game. It's part of my job. It's you've got to entertain with people, and it's mad because half of them, like I consider them friends, like you, and there's loads of other people. I consider them friends now. So imagine your mate walk past going, "Do you want a shot?" and you go, "No." There's that balance. But me, I can come in and do a shift, and I'll get up on the Saturday at 1 o'clock, and then I'll go to the gym before I come back here. So I've got like that discipline now.
The drive.
And even if I have a drink, if I get up and I feel like I've just been ran over, I'll still get up and be able to go to the gym. So I'm sort of lucky in that way. But a lot of people I know, they'll have a bevy and then they'll miss about 3 or 4 days. And it's not really. So finding the balance for me is that was the key, because otherwise I don't think I'd have been able to do it.
So like during the pandemic, like obviously you worked in nightclubs and hospitality. Like how did you find that change of, always coming in on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe even a Monday, having the buzz and excitement of working in a nightclub and day parties and stuff, to just like snuggling up to Netflix for the first like 4 months. How was the change? How did you
the
find
first lockdown, the second or the third? Like the first one.
The first one
was. Isn't this the second one?
This is the third.
What was the second one?
Where have you been?
In November. Everything was closed.
Oh, that was only in Liverpool though, wasn't it?
No,
it was nationwide.
Stop lying. I thought it was only just us when we closed the gym and I had to go to Warrington. I thought that was just Liverpool.
No, that was just that was in amongst it, and you had a nationwide one as well. November.
That's because we were in that gym.
Yeah.
That gym, it didn't seem like it was locked down. Well, at the first 14 days of the first lockdown, I was like, oh my God, because I don't get any time off really on a weekend unless I go away on holiday.
Yeah.
Because this is obviously, my weekend is a Monday, Tuesday. I would say my Saturday, Sunday's a Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because they're like my days off or whatever, it used to be. So then I had these 2 weeks off and I was like, oh my God. So I was still training every day. I was like, I'll catch up on Netflix, rewatching things. And then it got to day 15.
Day 15?
No, honestly, day 15.
In the big house.
House. So I was like, honestly, and I lost the plot. I went, is this real? And because it hit me that, oh my God, this could be for a while. And it actually was. But I didn't do too good. I had some really, really dark days. I'm not going to lie. It was bad.
Where was you when you first got the news about the lockdown was going to continue for a longer period of time?
No, that's what you mean. The 3 weeks that's lasted now.
Where were you? Where were you?
Was you not home?
In the house?
No, because like.
Well, I was on the couch. My fourth pack of quavers. My fourth pack of quavers. No. I was just sitting in the thing, and then do you know what? I seen this. It was funny. I seen this meme, and someone said, "Just getting ready to go and have a wine in the bathroom to change the scenery," and I think that was what it was. It was like, oh my God, this could last this could last a good couple of months. I
thought it was a 2 week thing. I generally thought, 2 weeks. Got my bike out, was cycling, thinking, 2 weeks, 3 weeks hit. I was thinking, shit. I was thinking, all right, cool, let me do the maths. Maybe he hasn't calculated them properly. And then it just lasted.
I know, and then you're seeing that blithering idiot on the telly, and he doesn't even brush his hair, and you're looking at him thinking,
Bojo.
You're looking after us, you. And then he'd come on and he just looked like all flustered, like he was, and I'm like,
I think he does that on purpose.
I'm listening to a thing he says, and a thing. So I stopped watching it after a while, and then the more it went on, I don't know, it sort of got a little bit easier, but there was a couple of, every 2 or 3 weeks, I'd have like a wobble a day where I'd be like, this is not, I'm a very huggy, like, you've seen what I'm like, I'm huggy. I've hugged everyone through the pandemic. I really don't care, but the thought of like not being in contact with people, that was what, when I started thinking too much about it, that was when I'd start losing it a bit. So yeah, it wasn't.
So what did you do to kind of keep yourself sane and keep yourself
I trained every single day in my apartment, and do you know now, like when I went into the second lockdown, if it weren't for Prophecy being open, I would have lost it, because I thought another like 100 squats with the same weight, 50 kg in my living room, doing the same thing out looking at my apartment window.
It's a lot. That's why I just couldn't be arsed with them, and I kind of fell off the wagon hard, because it was, I tried to do it and it wasn't the same. Like my body didn't want to activate the same way how it would activate in the gym or do things, and I thought, you know what, fuck it, I'll just become a chef.
But when you think about it, right, that's real, because you know you're looking at somewhere you have your breakfast and somewhere where you chill, and it's just not the same environment. And that was the worst thing as well. Like it was the longest. It felt like a year.
Yeah. But don't you think this one's gone quick? Because it's May next week. That's 5 months. 5 months, I literally closed my eyes. It genuinely felt like January was like not too long ago.
Yeah.
But then the last year, them months, each month felt like it was an eternity. But it's realistically at the same time, no?
Oh no. I mean, do you know what? It's hard really, because, like I said before, I would have lost the plot if it were for that gym being open on the second one. I don't think I'd have survived that, like the way I got through it. And then I think that's what made it quicker on the last one as well, because up until February it was still a go. But it's
so with the gym you going and stuff, and you was protesting and being an activist and like.
Got my hand slapped a couple of times.
What were you protesting about?
Saying a couple of things I shouldn't, but we moved, didn't we?
What were you protesting about?
The pandemic being...
Yeah.
Scared getting shot in the foot.
It's alright,
it's in... Like, I personally think it's the rebranded flu, and I'm not saying it's not real. It's a different strain. I just feel like, what's coronavirus at the flu now? Is that what it's done? Because the flu's been eradicated after 100 odd years. Where's it gone?
No, the flu's still about.
Yeah, but it's 6% compared to 98% last year. There's only 6% people having flu. These are the
you mean that because now everyone has COVID?
But I feel like they're mistaking it a little bit, and that's where I'm at with it. And I just feel like it's done no good. The first one didn't do any good. Then they done another two after it, and there's like quite a lot of people who've like took their own lives, and I just think after the first one, why would you make the same mistake again and again? Yeah. It's like running into that door there, knowing it, you know, it's a piece of glass, and just keep repeatedly running at it. It just doesn't make any logical sense. It's just I'm just one opinion in 7 billion. So
like what Josh said, if you look at the so-called plan, it was just the exact same plan as last year, copy and paste.
I'm not gonna lie. If we went into another lockdown, I am off to Sweden. Sweden, they're just doing what they want.
But with Sweden though, there was controversy with that, because the leaders of their country, they didn't do lockdowns because they didn't believe in lockdowns. But then because they didn't believe in lockdowns, when the peak happened and the second wave came about, people started to lose their lives a bit more than their neighbouring countries. Yeah. So they got a bit of backlash, but what they did do is they still advised people to like social distance and wear a mask and whatnot, but they kept quite a lot of businesses open.
But don't you think we should have done that? Like, do you know what my thing was like, we should have been given some type of choice, not being locked away, like just taking away your human rights. And I get it to a point, but after the first one didn't work, they should have looked at a different strategy.
Doesn't it show how they can willingly close everything down and make everything like I never in our life I never thought anything. I always thought I would see a war, then a flu pandemic to go and shut down everything, to the fact where they made things illegal, like the gym. Who would ever think the gym, you could get arrested to go and lift up one weight?
Don't keep healthy. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Don't go to the gym. I mean, the endorphins alone is reason enough to go, and it does wonders for your body, your mind, everything. I just don't get the logic, and as you said before, I honestly thought there'd be a World War III or whatever before anything like this. Like, God, when the plague or something, that was like, you hear about that in history class. You wouldn't think anything like that happened now.
Yeah.
No, the Spanish flu was not too long ago. It's less than 100 years still.
It was 82 years ago.
Yeah, like so the Spanish flu was a big one. But then
Crazy.
But as I was saying, making things illegal and you protesting, you going gym. There was a point, that third lockdown, when you used to go on prophecy, and we went at the beginning.
You had to sneak.
Yeah, we had to sneak.
I was like Rambo doing like little cartwheels in the street, like hiding behind stuff, just waiting for the busies to go.
So now it started to make me think, now, is it worth me going gym? Because they were collaring people, or if you get it's like, you need to think now, it's still an offence to go something that is not an offence, but it will still go down or something.
I know.
It was so much. So how did you know? You took that sacrifice that I'm going to go gym regardless, but at the same time, like with the whole thing that happened with the girl who boyfriend called.
Oh, that night.
Yeah.
That was an inside job. I don't care what anyone
You think
says.
so?
She only wanted to leave that the establishment, we'll call it. Oh no, we've already named it, haven't we?
Yeah.
Sorry. Rewind. So she didn't want to leave until the busies were all outside. Now, why would you want to leave and get an £800 fine unless you weren't going to get one? Why would she needed to leave when the police were outside? Not before. Only when they all turned up on the right, like, I need to leave now. I would go, oh my God, no matter who's ringing me, because apparently it was a fella who was ringing and saying, get out the gym, blah, 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 I'm going to ring the police on you. I would go, I'm not leaving there, I'm getting an £800 fine. The only reason that she would want to leave is if, and she'd only just started going as well, so I was expecting an inside job.
So I was expecting that.
I thought it would have happened sooner, maybe.
Because I was thinking, because a lot of people were going, and it got to the point where there was people from Manny I knew started turning up. And I was like, yo, what the fuck are you, man? It was
getting heavy in there. Like,
it was getting heavy. So then I was thinking, they're not actually doing a background check on people. And then the thing that I didn't like the most was people still active on social media with their posts. So that's how I started clocking. Those people I knew from Manny were putting on their stories that they were in the gym. And I was like, yo, you're just fucking off the base for everyone. I know.
Well, I never say it to someone. Someone was like, and I went, why are you videoing? Should you work here? And I went, no. I said, but I still want to come in. I want to carry on coming here, so stop filming.
So things like take away from social media is the cause of everything. Yeah. It's like you're actually snitching without not knowing that you're snitching. Like, people screenshot shit now and send it. I remember I went to a party
as well. Screen record. That's
naughty. I remember I went to a party and someone screen recorded it and then started blasting me on Snap, and I don't even follow them.
Shut up.
Yeah, because someone messaged me,
was it a hair or a him?
I think it was a hair.
What did you do to her?
I didn't do that. I
You ain't got to lie.
But I do nothing. But for that to go that far from someone I don't know to who doesn't know me, post it on their story like these dickheads. But like, that's where it's like now, like, oh shit, like I just dry snitch. She's took it. It's gone somewhere else, and it's getting bigger.
Dry snitch.
Yeah, basically.
But then, do you know, like that whole thing? Like now, I've had it before. Like someone's commented on something saying you're not social distancing, or they're turning people against each other. Like you're going around killing people, not wearing a mask. I'm physically going around like killing people. That's the type of society we're now dealing with, thanks to Tatty.
Someone did the exact same shit to me once. I told you the story.
No, it's heavy.
This is a nurse, by the way. She was like, I don't even care. She was like,
I didn't even care.
I was like, she was like, COVID. I was like, COVID. All the numbers what we just spoke about. Yeah. She was like, well, it's killing bare people in the hospitals. I was like, cool. These are the figures.
So smoking. Yeah. So is alcohol.
Do you get what I'm saying? Then she was like, oh, but you just went to a party the other day and I can't even go and see my family. And bear in mind, she went to wherever she was the week before I went to go and see her family. And then the week after, she didn't know that I know the people. She went to their party and then tried to tell me she couldn't go home to go and see her family on Christmas. You're doing the exact same shit.
I don't understand where people think they can just get this audacity from just to come out with stuff like that. The hypocrisy level these days is just a joke.
It's crazy because people actually tell you now, like, you're not social distancing. If there was no cameras here, you'd be like, or if you got an invite to a party, 100% you'd be going.
Yeah.
You'd be there.
And you know what's mad as well? Like, I'd love to sit down with Boris and ask him a couple. I'd love to chin him, like, but I'd love to ask him a couple of questions. Like, it is what it is. What can you do? Yeah. Come for me, Boris. No, so how can you go into River Island? How can you go to River Island, right? Touch all these clothes, be this close to people, right? Who's coming around spraying them clothes that you've touched before the next person touches them?
Is that what happens?
But then you can't go in. You can't come in this club. You've got to do outside gardens, but you can go to River Island, and people can be touching all the clothes.
Yeah. So I don't know how it works, but it doesn't.
It doesn't. There's no data to support this.
What did you do for your birthday?
If it happened in the last 12 months, nothing.
Did you go out for somebody and then I went to town and went back? It was cause I went to cause. You're not allowed to try things in store, but then you have to go home, try it on, and then go back. And then if you don't want it, you did that too. It's like that on my way. So I didn't get that. What does the difference mean? Me going home to try it than me trying it in the store? And then they said they have to keep it at the back for 3 days.
Oh.
Is that what did you do that?
You used to.
Yeah. Okay.
They go to the L1 toilet to try it on, and then come back though, it doesn't fit. So we have to spray it and then leave it to air out for like an hour or two, and then.
So.
Why wouldn't you just not let people try it on? Full stop. That doesn't make any sense.
Do you reckon when they make these rules up, they'll just get absolutely smashed in that bar in Parliament,
so
right?
That's what happened.
And they just sit there writing the most crazy rules, thinking if these dickheads follow this, mate, watch, we'll be laughing for 50 years.
I think so.
I think so. And they say whoever's got the silliest rule.
Yeah.
We'll tell everyone.
The curfew one's still the maddest.
I know. I mean, yeah, because obviously Corona only comes out at a certain time. she's wiped out from slaying all them people. She's got to get some rest and that.
Nah, it is silly. I think
she's special there.
I think what it is they're just, before earlier you said that like we should have like our own ability to pick.
Yeah, if you want to go out, and risk it, because I'd be like, I've got an immune system. If I go, that's my issue. If you don't want me to go near old people, fine. If you don't want me, that's sound. But we should have got the option to not be locked up, like, and it was like animals. Okay, you couldn't even leave your house.
One exercise a day and stuff like that. Absolutely ridiculous.
For an hour. And then they went, oh, we're going to let you travel to go for. Oh, thank God. So, but I can't get on public transport, so.
Yeah, I think some of the rules were very extreme, like things like you don't leave your area and stuff like that was very like that's just ridiculous. Like I've seen videos and during I don't know, it was the first lockdown or the second one where you see like families on walking down the prom, or I'm using Liverpool as an example, but for example in a different city, and they're getting stopped by police officers saying like, what are you doing here? And it'd be like a woman with a daughter or something. Saying like we've just come here to go for a walk, and then they'd be told like, sorry, you should be in your own area. You shouldn't be here, which I just think is ridiculous. I think what happened is they ran with an idea and they created a set of rules, and then they just didn't know what direction to go in, so they just made things even more extreme and more extreme and more extreme.
I agree.
Without really reviewing and coming up with a plan that
actually works
and was like substantial for the majority of people. It was like, we don't actually know what's going on, so we're just all gonna like.
And the whole substantial meal thing, like, oh yeah, because you've ate, the Rona will just go around your table.
Expensive. Do you know how expensive substantial meals are? Yeah, for every gaff that you go to, you have to get a substantial meal.
Exactly.
I didn't get the logic.
To have a drink, you need to eat every single time you want to have a drink. That is nuts.
Yeah.
That's not even healthy.
It's not. Sit, don't move, eat and drink. And yeah.
And exercise once a day.
Yeah, and if you go to the toilet, wear a mask.
Don't breathe. Just don't breathe.
Just sit still. And do you know what? Like I hate bringing up like anything from, because I used to hate history because I used to go, well, I wasn't there, so I didn't really care. That sounds really bad, but anything that like just didn't really like bother me, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But it felt like what I learned about.
Who are you waving to?
The fans?
They're not waving.
That was his fan.
The fun.
He actually wasn't waving for my waving.
The little queen. What was I saying then? Yeah, so it reminds me of like that Nazi treatment that you heard about when you were in history school, like from like the whole Hitler thing, and that's what it started reminding me of. And I was like, is this real? Like, I was waiting for it was like the Truman Show. I was waiting for someone to come up and go, surprise.
Speaking on, you kind of just touched up. I don't think we've mentioned it. Like on the Queen's wave. Oh, this thing, the Queen's wave. So obviously,
she's hysterical.
She's hysterical. The Queen.
I don't know.
I was gonna say because
she's very dead behind the eyes, and just for years she's just looked the same. I think her hand's the only thing that actually moves.
Nah, she looks more. Rest in peace, my man. But she looks more alive than the husband did.
Philip.
Yeah, and you know what? She's 95, alive.
Yeah, 95.
She looks really good for 95.
So would I ever sat around doing nothing all day?
She must do a lot, to be fair.
It's all the
she must have a lot of stress.
All the children's blood she drinks. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, I weren't gonna listen.
I'll say it.
I'll make up you did, because I go down some deep rabbit holes, and sometimes they're not politically correct to bring up in any environment. Yeah. So I always keep me stum on it, because
don't upset people and stuff.
No, I don't want to look crazier than I already am. Okay, no, but I've heard them stories, and I honestly think it's probably true.
I mean, so. Stem cells?
For her to be driving a Range Rover at 95.
Whipping it in one hand.
Like,
wait, how old do you have to be to stop driving?
Can she get like something? Does she have to like get a brick to
I have no idea, but
that's automatic.
I don't know, but that's a big car, and you need energy.
No, but what's the age that you have to stop driving?
There isn't one.
There isn't one.
I thought it was.
No, you have to do
certain age.
You have to do your test again.
And you have to have a certain eye test as well.
Yeah, I think it's after like 75. They'll test you again to see if you're fit enough to drive again. But that's a big car. That's.
Didn't Philip drive that car as well?
Yeah, he did, but he crashed.
Did he crash?
Yeah. Did you not see it in the news?
Seen it,
yeah, he crashed.
Maybe they get an exempt because the Monarch's in it.
No, you can drive, but you just get retested. But like, I feel like you have to be fit enough to drive.
I think so.
But you know what? She's the Queen. She probably
that's what I was saying.
Nothing applies to it, does it? Obviously.
Probably not.
Does she even need to do like when you go and do like a passport application? Does she even need to do one? I bet you there's like set things that she doesn't need to have.
Maybe. I don't know. She'd probably just be like, I'm the Queen.
Did you know she owns 60% of the land in the whole world?
60%?
60%. Someone Google that shit for me, please. 60% of the land in the whole world.
Is that because of when like colonization and stuff like that?
I don't know. I don't know whether it's because their bloodlines or the original bloodline. I'm not really too sure, but I've.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, because she's like one of the. She comes from like
Prince Philip was Greek. His family are Greek, and he was born into a Greek family, and
Philip
he was Mountbatten, and he was Prince of, and his family was whatever took over. I think it was Denmark. Someone correct me if I'm just lying.
I'm just waiting for him to confirm.
Sorry,
that I was right over the Queen.
I was replying to a different message, man.
Queen Elizabeth is sovereign of 15 countries, but the person who holds the most land in the world is the Roman Catholic Church.
The Roman Catholic Church.
17 million hectares.
Isn't she?
I don't know.
I could be getting my
words
mixed up. Wasn't she like head of the Roman Catholic Church?
That's what I'm saying.
No,
I think she's something to do with. Anyway, she's got quite a bit of the land.
Because Church of England is that's why it's called Church of England.
So Anglican's Church of England.
Yeah, I don't think Anglican.
Roman Catholic comes from Rome. So like Italy and stuff.
What does the Pope jurisdiction?
That's Roman Catholic.
Oh, mad thing.
Yeah, Rome.
And then you've got Orthodox Jew, Orthodox
Greek.
There's a church, an Orthodox Catholic church on Prinny Ave.
Yeah.
What type of church is that?
They're Catholic, but
they don't have this. Don't follow the same traditional rules.
So you got Jew, and then you got Orthodox.
Yeah, but Jewish is Judaism. That's not
so
Christianity.
What do you believe in?
Catholic. So I believe
I grew up.
I do too.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think so, but I actually do.
I grew up through like Church of England Anglican, so
The
not
Church of
Roman
England?
Catholic. Yeah, I'm not Roman.
I'm a
No
Catholic.
one in
I
my
was
family.
christened.
My grandma's Catholic, but
So Church of England in Zambia?
well, it wouldn't be Church of England. It's just Anglican, but like it's not Catholic. So my grandma would be Catholic, but the secondary school I went to here was Church of England. That's why I said Church of England. But my primary school was Catholic. So I was actually brought up
In a Catholic school.
kind of in a Catholic school. So I adopted certain things. And then I remember going to church with my mum and I'd do certain things that only happens in a Catholic church. And my mum would be like, why are you doing that? And I was like, what do you mean? That's like what you do. Like make the sign of the cross and stuff. That's the Catholic
I don't believe in everything that's in that book, but I believe something put us here, and I believe
I
the
thought you
same
said in
rules.
that book. Like it's
it's
on the bookshelf.
Named everyone in Liverpool, but I won't say the word Bible. There's something wrong with
Oh,
me, isn't
yeah.
there? That book. No, there's certain things that I don't really agree with or understand, and then there's a lot that I do agree with. So I feel like I've got a faith and I believe in something.
Yeah.
I just can't tell you exactly what it is or what it looks like because none of us can.
So you believe in God, but maybe you might not specifically follow a religion.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that taboo subject as well. They go, well, why, if God was real, why would he do all these things? And I think, well, if he made everything kosher, what would be the point? There'd be no.
But don't you think
life? It wouldn't be a life if you've got to have ups and downs.
So exactly like that.
Yin and yang.
But then people always say like, so some girl said yesterday, you always see it flying about. Money doesn't bring happiness, but then a lot of unhappiness is the root of money. So I don't know. I genuinely.
That's actually.
Do you know what? I wouldn't say unhappiness is the root of money. What happens in societies is that the people who run the societies fail people for the basic needs. So when you go to places, people are in poverty, but it's not poverty because they don't have a lot of money. It's because they can't sustain themselves for basics. Food, shelter, clothing. They're the basics. If everyone had food, shelter, clothing to a decent standard,
exactly.
You're covered really. It's just because we live in this western side of the world and the society. Everyone wants more than what they want.
But don't you think we live a decent standard, but I'm not comfortable?
No, you are. I think you are comfortable. It's because you live in this side of the world. Because if it was this, but translated in a different part of the world,
you think the grass is green on the other side always, but then when you're on that side, when you're on the actual other side, you'd always want more. Isn't that one of the sins? Gluten.
Yeah, gluttony. Gluttony is. Yeah, money
is
the root.
like it's bread.
Well, actually, that's even though you didn't mean it. That's where that comes from. Bread is money.
Okay, but gluttony means
gluttony is like jealousy.
I knew that. That's why.
Yeah, look. I don't think you meant that, but that was clever. Well done. See what you're doing there, Craig.
People all about drips and rooftop parties, man.
But yeah, money is the root of all evil, as it says in the Bible or that book. Should we say?
Hashtag that book.
So I've actually got one more question, and this is like going back to like you said you own the pub. And you work in hospitality, wouldn't be the next venture to open up your own gaff?
I don't know, you know, I've always thought of that idea, but with me, I see you'd have to be more behind the scenes when it's your place, and I'm sort of not that type of person.
You're front of house, aren't you?
Imagine me being stuck behind in the offices watching the cameras and, you know, putting out the plan for the week. I like to be centre mid in the action. I love, you know, my favourite thing, and that's why I'm twitching now thinking about it, walking through the crowd with like these toys or the plane, and it's like you can see where you're going, and I always look for the looks on the faces, and then the people get the cameras out, and I think that's why I've always sort of gravitated towards being the job that I'm in, the side that I'm in because of that, and it's less pressure. It's not your money on the line. It's not. Even though I do a job, especially of this type, I've always put 110% in, because obviously I don't want to fail the person who I'm working for, but also I don't want to fail myself, because like I always set a certain standard, and then I'd probably put too much pressure on myself. But then if it was my own gaff, I'd be constantly like watching the cameras, like do it this way, do it that way, and some people just don't work the same way as you. So I think I'm in the right place for me now.
So what do you think of the hospitality scene in Liverpool now? Because it's changed over the past 2 years. So that's from like a clubbing environment scene, as well as like, you know, we have events now. There's lots of like rooftop parties and day parties. And and there's like restaurants and stuff. I think the city's got a lot more vibrancy to it. What are your thoughts on how it's like developed?
Well, there isn't actually a nightlife at the minute, so I can't comment on it now. However,
from 2017 to 19.
Yeah, I mean, I always liked the way it gravitated towards places being more restaurants, nightclubby, and it's sort of going that way now. It was, I mean, obviously before the lockdown, the places were being a restaurant, and then a bit like in Ibiza, there's a couple of places there like STK. I love the way they'll have like it'll be a restaurant, then then they'll put the show on it, it'll gravitate into a nightclub, and I think that and everywhere in Dubai doing the same, like that's the same thing, and even in like places like
New York,
Vegas,
Miami,
New York,
yeah.
It's that sort of heavy restaurant club thing, and I like it. Now I'm hoping when we open in June, everywhere goes back to no restrictions. I'm hoping that there is actually a nightlife to go back to. Otherwise, I'm out of a job. But I mean, I think I'm hoping that it will go back. To normal. What do you think?
I mean, personally, I like that. I think it depends on your age as well. I think because as you get a bit older and stuff, I personally think about staying out till 2 and 3 a.m. and think I want to be in bed. So I'm more venturing towards that, like, let's go for brunch in the day. Let's go to something that starts in the day, especially when the sun's out in the summertime, and you're done by 1, 2, and you're going home and you're winding down. Or if you do something, you're just gonna go back to an apartment, or like like.
Do you want your pipe and slippers now, or are you
hey, I'm tired.
You're still young.
I know what you're saying, because I'm on that, but I've always used to have that mindset. When I was younger, I used to be more gassed to go Gemini's by
pizza.
Gemini's by Bumper at the end. Oh my God,
that was, I know what you mean.
That used to be 30. That way you're licking. You know the score. That was it, man.
Well, my advice is, I feel like I've lived about 3 different lives. It's mad because I used to go out when I was younger, and then I stopped, and then I started like slowing down. Then I got the pub, and then now I've had like a resurgence. So now I'm sort of like when I'm not in work, my nights out are most of the time it's midweek. So then I've sort of gravitated towards back that. So my advice to you is don't reach for the pipe and slippers yet. Just push for it a little bit more.
I'm not saying like I'm gonna like stop per se, but I think because of maybe how the pandemic's gone and like how the landscape of things have changed, where it was substantial meals and it was more focused on the restaurant stuff. It gave me that perspective of like, you'd normally get used to going out at 7 to 4, and now it's like, let's go out at 1 or 2 and then be done later. And it's like, actually I've done that, like I liked it. So will I actually go back to how it used to be? It'll change.
I won't hold you to it, because maybe you might get the spark back.
It might do. I
feel like we've lost 2 years, so we need to go hard.
We literally have lost 2 years.
Well, last year, like I'm not counting that birthday, so this year I'm 35 again. There's no way I'm counting that. I had a lockdown birthday.
Jeez, man said reloaded.
Reloaded. I feel like a lot of people are doing that. Like,
I like that.
They feel like they've lost a lot of time, and I think over the pandemic, everyone's realised that time's really precious. And it's 100%. Like, you think like, went into a lockdown, 25, finishing it, I'm going to be 28 nearly. What the hell's happened? Like, literally, that's what happened. It's like, how has that happened?
What the fuck?
What's gone? Like, I can't. Normally in that time, I'd be like, I've done this.
Went on
all these holidays. I met all these people, and then it's like, I'm starting again from 25 again, but I'm 3 years older.
Do you know what? I'm going to prove that for you. You start at 25.
I will do.
Back to Lipson.
Do you know what? I'm missing that melanin as well. You know, that vitamin D, the proper sun. I'm just missing that really badly.
Having the ability to just travel and do what you like and just be open to.
Well, how do you feel about the vaccine? Because if you've got to travel to, if vaccines I won't get it. I always think that's what your immune system's for. I would never get a vaccine. Anyone who wants to get, that's up to them, but I would never get one. And if we can't fly without one, I'm probably not going to get one. Yeah, I know that. You know what? That's heavy. Yeah, it's true. I probably
would not fly.
At this point, if it's gonna make my life easier, I've probably put worse into my body. I'm just like, I'll just take.
I don't think you have though.
No one knows.
No one
I've
knows.
researched what there's some deep stuff in them, you know, like jellyfish DNA. I swear down, the stuff that's in it, it's crazy. And I'm thinking, and then
probably eating a jellyfish in your life, probably anyway.
What,
I've been stung by one, but
Haribo.
I used to think that, but it's pig, innit?
There's gelatin in it.
There's monkey. There's a aborted fetus lung tissue in it. Crazy stuff.
So, real people are gonna listen to this and be like, "Rah," but like fetuses and like
that's someone else's DNA in your
yeah,
body.
but you can start the stem cells. I always talk about stem cells is the future.
100%.
And you need that from like fetuses and placenta, and it's horrible to say, but like there's people who actually harvest people's children that they have abortions and use them for stem cells.
Not even that, kids go missing.
I don't know if you can use kids for stem cells though, because you get the most stem cells.
It has to be from so they get it from. So there's a face cream. There's a face cream that uses, so when babies are born and they get circumcised, they use that in the face cream because it's got the fibroblast growth factor is in the stem cells, and it's because they're 0 years old. They put that on your face, and your face, your skin regenerates itself. Crazy. I mean, see, I'd use that, but I wouldn't inject something. Because apparently it changes the molecular structure of your DNA.
Yeah. Because they say you can build limbs that way with stem cells. Like if you've been like severely, or if you've had like a really damaged lungs, there's treatment that where you start taking like stem cells injection, and it can speed up the healing process. But like it's expenny.
So when you mentioned jellyfish before, I think it's jellyfish, and there's a few of that amphibians and stuff. When they lizards, but there's some others as well. I can't remember what species are. But anyway, if they lose an arm, they can grow them back. Or they lose their limbs, they can grow them back over time. Yeah. So I don't know whether that's the reason.
Maybe, but then there's aluminium and things. There's metals in there, and certain metals go in your body and take 10 years to come out, and they sit in your brain. And things like that. I just probably wouldn't put it in. But we've all probably put stuff in our bodies that we shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just at that stage where I'm just like, am I really going to be fussing over a vaccine like this? I probably had the vaccines when I was young, and touch wood, wherever the wood is, somewhere. I'm okay and I'm still here, so
I know. I just feel like it should be, you should have a choice.
It should be a choice. Yeah, it should be a choice.
Right, and I done the protest last year, and I might as well just
go all the way.
Carry on with what I believe in. If it doesn't feel right in me, in my head, then I'm not going to do it. So
I do believe people should have the choice, though. It shouldn't be a mandatory thing. Like you can't do this if you don't do that. Because when is that ever?
I feel like they're splitting everyone up. They keep putting these like goalposts and like bringing people further apart. And even like with like kids and things like that. Like when I was a kid, like part of growing up, some of the best thing was being outside. My mates now, they're all glued to the iPads, and they wouldn't know how to research something if it weren't for Google. Like I know. If I needed to find something else and there was no Google, I know there's a library.
Yeah, you go and get
I know how to read and research, and I feel like kids these days are so they're antisocial, and it's a little bit scary.
So me personally, I think Google is the best thing. So
it's the easiest thing. Yeah, it's good in that way.
Like I like to. So when I watch films, I always Google the film and read the synopsis while I watch the film.
You don't.
Yeah.
That's bad, that.
Why?
Watch the trailer.
I'm more trying pieces together.
Or look at the Rotten Tomatoes. Look at their review.
Yeah, but how are you gonna do that without the fucking? You can't do that with the library. Like
the library isn't like the showcase cinema.
I remember
list films. That's not what we're saying.
So I think I was about like 17 not 17. I think when I was in uni, I realized the library is useless. When I went to the library and I started doing like revision, I was like, I'm actually not actually using the books, and I'm using YouTube and lecture slides to learn, and I didn't really look at like the books. And the books that I bought, I opened them one time and I wasted like £70 on books.
But when I was in school, we never even had YouTube then. So back in the day. So that's what I mean. It's good in that way. I'm on about the kids on their iPads, and they've got no like I could have, like, from a kid I could have a conversation with anyone, and I think it's because I had that time where you bond with. You learn. That's where you get your personality from your other mates and the adults. It's
the social interaction.
Now they don't even look at your kids. My brother's like, "Hi Connor, to forgive me for this, but he's very like." I'm extrovert. He's very introvert, and I honestly think it's the society today.
I agree with that. I've said that before as well.
And Google, like, I would have loved to have that. It would have been so much easier to revise. But so what I'm saying is, if it wasn't here, I would know to go and find that information somewhere. Whereas these kids, I don't think they would be able to do that. I don't think they'd be able to find it as easy as we, as well as I could.
You don't have to go anywhere to get your experience anymore. For example, like you were saying, like you would have gone to school with no YouTube and stuff. And like probably you learning things would have been interacting with people who are around you. Yeah. Whereas you can go on your social media, you can go on Instagram, you can go on Twitter, whatever, and you can see what someone's doing across the world. That's not normal. I don't think you should be able to gauge that amount of information.
Hey, do you remember when The Simpsons called it though?
Yeah, The Simpsons have been...
They done so it had like an... do you remember the episode? It had like it was a Went into the Future, and it said you're going to be able to video call, and it had like this little, and it looked like an Apple phone. And they called all kinds of things. They had like a magazine with 9/11 on.
Yeah,
with towers on, and
things, and
this is donkeys years ago. So I'm just saying that they called it.
But don't you think some of these things are? Now we're going too deep into it. But don't you think like some of these things are already predicted that are going to happen?
Yeah,
so,
a million%. They put it out there, so the. What they're actually planning, I think, before it. So maybe like that.
Because like set things like where, especially in films, when they come up with like technology ideas and stuff, they actually do take that and then build it, and then you're like, okay, all things that do manifested in Simpsons that happen and stuff. So I just feel like when you speak into existence, someone now gets that idea.
Either that, or we're just in some big mad virtual game and we're just all gonna get like,
might be in the Matrix, you never know. That might be real.
It's probably out there, but just waiting for the time to put it back out there.
All this has already happened, but we're just reliving it.
Maybe.
Someone just pressed play.
My head just fell off.
This is already
some
happened.
Shit.
Yeah, someone just pressed play and we're just going again.
Sorry, what's your favourite drink again? No, I love going into the rabbit holes I do. But then I'm obsessive, so I will research and I'll stay up all night doing it, and I'll be like, why have I just done that?
Yeah, go really deep.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. Get that. What time are we on? 5:30. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
What do you want to plug? Tell them.
Coming to the end of the podcast.
Are you allowed to take tips when people come into work?
I thought you were going to offer me one then. I was going to say
yeah.
Show me the
money.
Make
sure you tip it.
Now it's sort of, I'm not in that lane anymore, but don't want to plug anything.
Where can they find you in your socials?
At Craig Cavannagh IG. I changed the name twice.
Why were you?
I don't know. I just felt bored with the other one.
Oh, I wanted someone else actual name or something.
I wanted me. They have.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, they have. So I tried to change it to just Craig Cavannagh. And someone had it, and I looked on theirs. They had like 43 followers, posts, and like there were about 10 followers. I was looking like that. Sorry, at Craig Cavannagh.
So
you took my name though.
I remember I wanted to get my name, and then it was mad.
So your name isn't Josh Lift?
No. Actually, funny story. I was in Miami last week, and I met someone, and his first name is my last name. So Ori. I was like, I saw CJ. I was like, CJ Wargon. He was like, what you want? And his boy was like, oh, my name's Ori. I said, what? Yeah, but I've never heard anyone. And I was like, oh, my name's Ori. And he looked at me like I was chatting shit. So I was like, no, really, what's your name? And he's like, Ori. And I was like, nah, that can't be. Because I've never heard my name be someone, even a first name.
God. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I always used to Google or search my last name and to see who I'll find.
Yeah.
And then I used to see some random people. I was like, shit, we could be related. You ever done that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's new with you? What have you got? What have you got planned for the rest of the year?
Rest of the year, shit. I don't even know what's going on tomorrow. Yeah.
In terms of
life?
I mean, I've sat here and absolutely chatted for a while.
We're getting podcasted.
So role reversal. So what's new with you? What have you got planned besides like holidays and actually coming back into the land of the living?
Do you know what? Because of how stop-start the world is, I haven't really put anything into motion to be like, I'm going to work towards this. Just cracking on with just work and just this podcasting, really. Normally I would have more goals and stuff, but right now I'm just taking it as it is. I'm not really putting any pressure on because you never know what may happen.
Well, when you think about it, we've got 2 years worth of resolutions that we didn't. We got straight into lockdown in 2020, and then we didn't get
now it's halfway.
Yeah,
it's halfway.
So we've got like two sets of New Year's resolutions.
Ask me again around June 21st. Okay. I'll probably I'll start a plan for
the 21st of June.
Because the restrictions.
That's when there's no restrictions.
Oh, okay.
So then I'll be able to.
That's when I'll be watching and seeing if you really do go for your pipe and slippers, or you're going to actually yell. I'll be looking for you.
I'll be in here 21st of June. But yeah.
Myself, I don't know, man. I literally don't know. Every day I think right now everything's coming at me way too fast. I can't grip it. I want to. I think for the first time in my life, I'm not in control.
It's a mad fear. I've heard so many people say the same thing, which is
it's crazy. Like, I don't know, man. I literally can't tell you because I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Me, it's just going to be... Well, we've got, obviously, Ink and 54, like massive clubs. And
what is coming up with Ink and 54?
Well,
Jojo
will kill me. So
anything that you
can't
say?
give anything.
Okay.
Can't give anything away.
The new cocktail menu. We've approached a new outlook. I can't really say because I'll get.
Don't say anything you get in trouble for.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah. Don't say anything.
I mean, I slagged the Queen off before, so
that's fine. That's sound. She doesn't pay our
bills. The Queen and bought us, so I went up there. No, but so yeah, we've got a new venture called Zen.
That's that other gaff, isn't it?
Is it still happening?
Wait until you see it. The plans are just out of this world. It's good. I've never seen anything like that in this country yet.
Oh really?
3 floors.
When is it looking to open? July still?
It's probably going to be more towards the probably end of August, September maybe. September. I'm hoping before, but I've seen the CGIs, what it's going to look like.
It's going to have CGI in there?
No, the plans are on CGI. It's a brand new build, so it's both the plans are insane. Like they had 53 obviously, and then 53 was obviously not here anymore, but we have 50, and I thought 54 was like, wow, we're never gonna be able to top that. Now it's I can't wait for them to start releasing art. I'm gonna have to stop talking.
But yeah, anything else to plug, Trey?
No, just find us on the Instagram Frontleft Podcast, Twitter Frontleft Pod, and on the YouTube search Frontleft Podcast for your favourite boys.
Thanks for Craig.
Oh no, do you know what? Thank you for having me. It's been
it
was nice to dust off the personality and bring it back turn on the show for a couple.
Shout out to Ciroc Berlin, AU Vodka as well.
Yes.
And that's the Front Left Podcast over and out. Peace.